What would you do if you saw a mother pushed to the absolute edge by someone who thought they owned the world? Would you speak up? Or would you stay silent? Sometimes the heroes we need don't wear capes. Sometimes they wear neon vests and steel-toed boots. You won't believe how this ends. The Chicago Underground in July feels less like a subway station and more like a sauna. The air was thick, smelling of wet concrete and old electricity. It was 5:30 p.m. at the Jackson stop, and the platform was packed with commuters eager to get home. Among the sea of gray suits stood Maya. At 24, she looked 40. She was still wearing her work clothes, a faded yellow waitress uniform that had seen too many wash cycles, with dark coffee stains near the hem from a spill earlier that day. Her feet throbbed in cheap, worn-out sneakers. In her arms, she balanced little Leo. He was 2 years old, cranky, and dressed in a bright green dinosaur raincoat that crinkled every time he moved. Maya was barely holding it together. Her back ached, her arms shook, and all she wanted was to sit down for the 5 minutes before the Red Line train arrived. There was only one bench on the far end of the platform. Occupying the center of it was Mrs. van der Hoven. She looked like she had taken a wrong turn on her way to a gala. She was draped in an immaculate floor-length white faux fur coat, despite the heat. On her face, she wore oversized black designer sunglasses, blocking out the commoners. Next to her, taking up the only empty spot, sat her red crocodile skin handbag. It looked like it cost more than Maya's rent for the year. Maya approached tentatively, shifting Leo's weight. "Excuse me, ma'am," she asked, her voice raspy. "Could you please move your bag? My son is really heavy, and I just need to sit for a moment." Mrs. van der Hoven lowered her sunglasses just an inch. She scanned Maya from the coffee stains on her yellow uniform to the cheap green raincoat on the toddler. She wrinkled her nose as if she smelled something rotting. "This is Italian leather," the woman said, her voice icy. "I'm not putting it on this filth-ridden floor." "Please," Maya pleaded, a tear forming. "My legs are shaking. I just finished a double shift." "That sounds like a you problem," the woman scoffed, turning away. Leo, sensing his mother's distress, began to cry. He flailed his arm and accidentally knocked a small diaper bag off Maya's shoulder. It landed near the woman's pristine white boots. Mrs. van der Hoven gasped, "Get that trash away from me." She shrieked. Then she did the unthinkable. She stood up and kicked the diaper bag. She didn't just kick it aside. She kicked it with force, sending it skidding off the platform and down onto the dark, dirty tracks below. The sound of the bag hitting the tracks echoed like a gunshot. Maya screamed, rushing to the edge, looking down at the nappies and baby bottles scattered in the darkness. "Why would you do that?" she sobbed, clutching Leo tighter. Mrs. van der Hoven just dusted off her boot. "Consider it a lesson in decluttering," she sneered. The crowd watched. People whispered. Some shook their heads, but nobody moved. The fear of confrontation paralyzed them. Maya stood alone, humiliated, her face buried in Leo's green raincoat. If your heart breaks for this injustice, please like this video and subscribe to our channel to support kindness. Let's show the world that we stand with mothers like Mia. Just as Mrs. van der Hoven sat back down, smug and satisfied, the stairs at the end of the platform vibrated. Heavy footsteps echoed. Thud, thud, thud. Down the stairs came the night shift crew. 4 massive men who had just spent 12 hours busting concrete. They were covered in drywall dust that made them look like ghosts. They wore neon orange safety vests with reflective strips that caught the subway lights, and battered hard hats covered in Union stickers. Leading them was Big Mike. He was 6'5", with forearms the size of tree trunks. He saw Maya crying. He saw the bag on the tracks. And he saw the woman in the white coat smirking. The atmosphere on the platform shifted instantly. The air got heavier. Big Mike didn't run. He walked with a slow, terrifying purpose. The other 3 men fanned out behind him, creating a wall of neon orange and muscle. Mrs. van der Hoven looked up. Her smirk vanished. She shrank back against the tiles, clutching her red bag. Big Mike stopped right in front of her. He towered over her, blocking out the fluorescent lights. He didn't yell. He didn't raise a fist. He just stared at her through his safety goggles. "You like kicking things?" Mike asked. His voice was deep, like gravel tumbling in a mixer. She. It was in my way, Mrs. van der Hoven stammered, her voice trembling. Mike looked at the tracks, then back at her. "That lady is tired. She's working to feed that kid. And you treat her like garbage?" He took a step closer. The woman pressed herself into the bench, paralyzed. "Go get it," Mike said. "What?" She squeaked. "You kicked it. You replace it." Mike pointed a dust-covered finger at the stairs. "There's a store upstairs. You're gonna go up there, you're gonna buy diapers, bottles, and a new bag. And you're gonna do it before the next train comes." One of the other workers, a man named Sal, crossed his arms. "Or we can call the cops and tell them you threw debris onto active train tracks." "That's a federal offense, lady." Mrs. van der Hoven turned pale. The arrogance evaporated. With shaking hands, she stood up. She pulled $500 out of her red bag, shoved it toward Maya, and practically ran up the stairs to escape the gaze of the orange vests. Big Mike turned to Maya. His face softened. He took off his hard hat. "Here, miss," he said, gesturing to the bench the woman had vacated. "Sit down. We got you." Maya sat down, weeping tears of relief as the crew stood guard around her until her train arrived. That day, Mrs. van der Hoven learned that an expensive coat doesn't cover an ugly heart. And Maya learned that sometimes angels smell like drywall dust and sweat. Respect is not about what you wear. It's about how you treat those who can do nothing for you. Now, I have a question for you. Number 1, where are you watching from today? Represent your city in the comments. Number 2, if you were Big Mike, would you have let the woman run away? Or would you have held her there for the police? And finally, what is the kindest thing a stranger has ever done for you? Let us know below. Stay kind, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.